Do you think if you had the chance to go back and meet your young self, you'd mostly just trade one-liners? If you've made a career of it like Ryan Reynolds, probably. Reynolds got to live the dream yet again. This time by tripping through time, meeting his younger self, reconnecting with estranged parents, and using a cool energy wand thing. He even gets to threaten his old bullies. Just what went into filming this giant bowl of wish fulfillment? Perhaps the biggest hurdle to overcome when making the movie where an adult Ryan Reynolds interacts with his younger self is casting that younger self.
This might be my fault. He plays a 12-year-old me in the movie we're doing.
Isn't that hard? He just plays himself, mostly.
Precious, aren't they?
The casting director with the impossibly cool name of Carmen Cuba, that is pretty cool, decided that the most important criteria was personality, so that the character could believably be a young Reynolds. Thanks to the modern paradigm, this translated into Reynolds doing chemistry reads with 376 different kids via Zoom. Carmen Cuba was using Reynolds' childhood appearance on the show 15 as the template they were using to look for Adam the Younger. At the end of the process, they found Walter Scobell, who was more Reynolds than they thought, which manifested itself onto Reynolds' social media account.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds, and I am honored to introduce Walker Scobell, one of my co-stars in Netflix's upcoming movie, The Adam Project.
Thanks, Ryan.
Reynolds posted a video on his Instagram that included the young Scobell reciting from memory the entire opening to Deadpool 2. Naturally, Scobell was a bit of a Marvel fan across the board, having to adjust to regular Mark Ruffalo instead of Professor Hulk Mark Ruffalo. It was probably a lot easier to adjust to Elektra as his mom. Modern graphics have opened up a whole new world when it comes to filming. What used to be the job of matte paintings and miniatures can now be handled with a room full of computers and some serious render time. The problem that comes with that is the actors are acting in a giant blue or green room, and the director is watching someone in a leotard covered in ping pong balls against a largely featureless background. Which is overstating things a little. Quite a bit of the set for things like the particle accelerator had been built, but there's still a lot that has to be left to the imagination. Thanks to the wonders of science, however, director Sean Levy got the leg up thanks to the visual effects team. They developed a pre-visualization tool that allowed director Levy to use what he called the magic iPad to get an idea of what the shot would look like with the effects added in and even experiment camera angles that he normally wouldn't have access to. Wow, that's cool. In the age of computer effects, it's easy for people to start to think that everything just happens on the computer. But the reality is that special effects are a mix of physical or practical effects and digital effects. And sometimes, before an object can be a digital one, it has to be a physical one first. Just to make that loop all the more confusing, before the physical objects become a physical object, they have to start as a digital object. What the hell am I talking about? It's the circle of inanimate objects that will eventually make up the reality of a movie in a seamless manner in order to draw the audience in. That probably won't make as good of a song lyric, though.
My God, we watched too many movies.
For the world of Saurian technology, Levy turned to the Australian FX company Super Vixen, who set about creating the aesthetic of Saurian tech. This included the MAG-CYL, adult Adam and young Adam's favorite weapon. Things like the computer core were made in the physical world, even though they'll eventually be flying around the room in a maelstrom of chaos. Just for the computer core alone, over 200 individual parts were 3D printed. Then they were scanned back in to become digital elements that then make up part of the chaos of the ending. That's movie magic, baby. What's fake is real and what's real is fake. You gotta keep them guessing. There's a sobering moment in everyone's life when they realize that they are at an age their parents were when they knew them. 30 seems so ancient to a 5-year-old, but when you turn 30 and think, by golly, they had a 5-year-old me running around while they were this age. That is crazy. You never get to have that conversation with your parents as their peers, age-wise. Well, you and I don't get to because we're neither time travelers nor successful actors. Well, you could be. I don't know you. Regardless, Reynolds was taking full advantage of this opportunity, even if it was for pretense.
This is amazing.
isn't it, though?
When adult Adam meets his mom in a bar as she tries to cope with her everything, her lost husband, her child that's making life difficult, adult Adam takes the opportunity to say all the things that are too complicated for young Adam to process, including all the regret he carried in the years afterward. The monologue is something that Reynolds added to the script, a big part of his attraction to the story. The unfortunate reality of the film industry is that while thousands of people can end up working on a big enough movie, becoming one of those people is difficult even if your job is picking up trash and telling people to be quiet. Movies are staffed up often with little more than a phone interview, after which everyone spends 10 to 15 hours a day with each other for the next couple of months. What happens is people often go with who they already know, and the only way people get to know each other is on things like passion projects or other low and no pay productions. What that translates to is that in order to break in, you have to have some sort of external means of support that allows one to be on set for that long before people start paying them. Aside from taking advantage of free labor, it artificially reduces the variety of people who end up working their way through crew positions to above-the-line creative positions or executive ones, which can disproportionately affect those who are often disproportionately affected by things.
The lack of proper compensation might be seen as a problem, but I don't think that's true.
To help combat that and provide those groups with the access to paid set time and experience to grow in the industry, Reynolds, with others, formed the Group Effort Initiative. That seeks to give these groups a chance to get integrated into the industry. The Adam Project was the first film to use the Group Effort Initiative to fill their behind-the-scenes crew. Not everything that's fake in a movie comes from inside a computer. Sometimes you fake things the old-fashioned way, by making a fake version of whatever it is. When it came to the house of young Adam, that's exactly what they did. The entire inside of the house was built on a soundstage rather than using an existing house. This naturally gave them more freedom with movements and camera placements. Several fake trees were made to give the wooded backyard feel. Also, since most of the movie takes place at night, it allowed them to still shoot during the day because flipping hours during a production is a huge drag and leads to things like Fraturdays. That's where you work a Thursday with regular hours, then get a late call on Friday that will end Saturday morning, followed by a regular call time on Monday, essentially throwing a grenade into your weekend. No one loves it. With the exception of newcomer Walker, Adam's family is full of superheroes. Reynolds, of course, plays Deadpool and Green Lantern. Dad Ruffalo also spends time as the ever-loving Hulk. Zoe Saldana, of course, is the most dangerous woman in the galaxy, Gamora. And of course, Mom once played Elektra. With such a proud pedigree of playing people with powers, that's a lot of P's, that ended up giving director Levy even more freedom. With a cast already versed in shooting action, he can not only include the actors in more shots, but he can hold on to those shots longer to give a better sense of the action. No one wants to go back to the chop shop of Iron Fist of 53 cuts in 35 seconds. Who knows what the future holds? With franchises expanding, maybe he'll follow in his pretend parents and fake future self and end up a superhero himself. While the three adult family members all played superheroes, they haven't, so far, played Marvel characters in the same continuity. Garner's Elektra was a foil to a Ben Affleck's Daredevil before he became Batfleck. Of course, Reynolds had been holding up the fort for Deadpool after the movie we no longer have to worry about, X-Men Origins Wolverine. While he wasn't the first Hulk in the MCU, he is the MCU's Hulk now. But that doesn't mean they've never appeared together. The movie was a reunion between Ruffalo and Garner, who last starred together in the movie 13 Going on 30. Casting Ruffalo came first, then Levy suggested Garner to fill the mom role. They only had one scene together, but with the chemistry they already established, made it that much easier. For her part, Garner accepted the role without even looking at the script. As a mom to teenage boys, she fell in love with the idea of a teenage boy getting advice from their adult self. When Levy described the scene where an adult Adam had a chat with his mom from the past, she said she was reduced to tears. It's a Ryan Reynolds vehicle, so naturally there's going to be a lot of ad-libs. Tracing all the way back to his Van Wilder and Waiting days, Reynolds' career had been one fast-talking, wisecracking character after another, and he's gotten pretty good at the patter. Clearly, This movie had the luxury of rehearsals, which allowed Ryan and Walker to get their rhythm as well as trying out new lines. The back and forth about questions got a few added lines, with adult Adam's frustration at young Adam's questions. They also added the line about the wound farting when he coughed, which seems like that would be a pretty serious injury. Reynolds also gave the young actor permission to go big with his actions.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm kidding. Let's go. Come on.
Choreographing young Adam covering adult Adam's eyes while trying to fly away. Reynolds was available to Walker throughout to help him with difficult lines even after Reynolds had rapped. He remained available for Walker to call for help or encouragement when he needed it.
Cute kid.
Precious, isn't he? Don't you just want to hold him underwater till the bubbles stop?
Reynolds and Levy are coming off a successful collaboration with the movie Free Guy. Levy will also be directing Deadpool 3, where the Merc with the Mouth joins the MCU. Whatever that's gonna end up meaning. Probably something cool though. The script for the Adam Project had been in development for 6 years before it found Levy and Reynolds. Reynolds especially connected with the script as he saw some of the complicated relationships between him and his late father in the story, and the idea of getting another chance to say the things he really didn't get to say to him. The movie became therapeutic in what Reynolds called his most personal yet. He said it allowed him to understand that he wasn't mad at his father for his mistakes, but rather because he died. I keep thinking I'm seeing future versions of me hanging out, but they never say anything, and they don't look like they're doing well. Speak up, future me, what's going on? You're starting to spook me out. Is it because I went all in on crypto, or because I didn't do it at all? Help me help you.
That's nice.